The Bulldogs.
A lot of dogs.
It'd be funny if like they had a postseason tournament where they're like, since we have so many Bulldog names, like we need to narrow it down to one. So whoever wins gets to keep their name. You'd see the best basketball of your life. There's going to be some crazy shit. People are going to bet Eastern Washington, they lose by 10. And people are going to be like, oh my God, this team sucks. Or like Montana State blows a game and people are like, what the, the Big Sky's trash.
I feel like I just can't take you seriously. And at the same
program.
time, yeah, it's like I simultaneously can't take you seriously and I'm extremely interested in everything that you have to say.
That's good. That's what we need out of this stream. Okay, is that like inertia or something? There's like a.
Well, I mean, like moving water requires colder energy to freeze. I can go call my mom. My mom literally lives on a river in Wisconsin.
What do we call that? Boots on
ground. Yeah. Okay, so you've got your mom's house on the under, and you've got life savings on UNLV. What else? What else can we wager? Future Kids College Fund. I mean, yeah. Well, so we're gonna double up, right? So we're gonna parlay the house and the life savings, and then we're gonna roll that through on something.
Told you we always been ready. I don't need people that's petty, that weigh on me heavy while I'm being steady. I need a record with Felly. We get it bouncing like Betty's. I feel like I'm Nelly. Don't bring the beef like a deli. It's leaving I levy. No sleeping on me like I'm Freddy. Chris Breeze, how I do. Hit him with the moves. Left hand step back, ballin' like I'm cool. All faith, God's plan, you just gotta choose. God slaps, nothing left to prove. Y'all gotta leave me alone. Lately I've been in my zone. Told them no cap like I fitted, but lately the flows have been straight off the dome. I feel like I'm MVP, like my name Patty Mahomes. If it ain't about money, don't hit on my phone, cause lately I've been in my zone.
Hello, welcome to the Cowboys Show, hosted by Ben Carey and Nick Gronerad, combining expert human opinions with cutting-edge simulation models to help you arrive at the best picks each week. Inside Edge Community 5, 4, 3.
What's going on, everybody? Sorry, the timer cut off at 2 seconds. I'm hoping that you guys weren't just waiting to hear the 2-1, but if so, I'm sorry about that. What's going on? What's going on? Can we get some 10-4s in chat? 10-4s in chat. I want to first start off with how the games and the bets went for you guys. I had a good day yesterday. I needed that after the day before. Shout out Yvetta. I think she went 5-1 of what picks she gave out on stream. Very impressive. But yeah, yesterday was good. Good for me. I'm gonna need help. Today because we have 2 games today and 2 spreads, in my opinion, that are pretty tight. But it seems that one way or another, people have pretty strong opinions on these games, which I'm a little surprised on, but then again, I'm not. And we'll talk about both those games. Does anyone have any futures alive? Does anyone have any futures still remaining? I had the St. Mary's future. I had a UCLA future. And I forgot that I actually did place a little Xavier future. So, unfortunately, all those teams are out. Nice. Gonzaga, K-State, some Texas. Ooh, Miami at 90-1. That's a nice one to have. K-State, Gonzaga. That's a good position to be on because you're basically on each side. Your goal is you just hope. I mean, if you can get both those teams in to the Final Four, you're feeling really good. I mean, definitely you want one, but man, if you can get 2, that'd be solid. I honestly don't know. I don't know what to think about this. I need your help, guys. I need your help on this one. 8-1. Okay. I mean, the way UConn is playing right now, just pretty crazy. Budman, I think back in 2014, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the UConn's men and women's team both won. Or was it 2012? It was the year UConn, of course, won the men's tournament, but I think it has happened once before, but someone needs to fact check me on that. But it hasn't happened that often. I mean, it's pretty rare. Yeah, 2014. That's what I thought. That was the year where UConn, I think, was a higher seed, not really a favorite. And when everyone talks about those KenPom ratings, where it's like, oh, to be a team that wins the championship, you must have these thresholds. But that UConn team was outside of those thresholds. I think it's top 20 in offense, top 30 in defense. UConn was one of the outliers that did not meet that criteria. Kind of interesting. Shout out Unabated for sponsoring the stream. Guys, if you don't have Unabated, I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing? Part of the odd screen too is free if you don't want to pay. But man, I look at this. I mean, the joke is I look at this screen more than I look at my wife some days. And it's like, ha ha ha. And then you're like, oh, Ben's actually not joking. And then some people even laugh harder after the fact. I tell them that, but some people don't after the fact. But anyways, I'm excited for baseball season 2. Especially baseball, because with baseball, I mean, the lines are only up for about 24 hours max, right? So you got to think about the amount of moves that happen in that 24-hour period. If you haven't bet a lot of baseball, guys, I'll tell you this much. If you bet totals, even not getting like the best number by a half, like a hook or a half run for totals over the course of the season, you will miss out on so much potential profit. So you got to put yourself in a position to have a tool that's going to help you get the best number. Yeah, let's dive into it. So I'm going to create a poll here, and we are going to talk about the best bets for these 2 games. So first game, Florida Atlantic, Kansas State, and then Connecticut Gonzaga. Let me fire up this poll. FAU, K-State. Let's see here. So I'm showing the best number. I mean, basically, it's 1.5. It's basically 1.5 for K-State, which I'm actually surprised because I believe this number was 2 at one point, and I'll look in a second to see what it opened at, but it definitely moved a little bit in FAU's direction. So the market and some of the sharper bettors, I think, are driving this number down a little bit, and I'm kind of surprised at that, just the way Kansas State has played. But it also tells me that someone like myself has seen FAU play throughout the course of the season, and I'm not totally shocked that they're finally getting some respect. But at the same time, I did expect K-State to be sitting at 2 points at this point in time. So let me just fire up this poll. Make sure to vote. I just want to make sure I have. Boom. Okay. So poll's up. Let's hear what you guys have to say about this. So it did open up at 1.5. Okay, and then it jumped up, and then it went back down. Okay, gotcha. Look, the thing with this game is if Kansas State shoots hot, I think they cover this, right? Like, and I don't even think it's particularly close. let's take a look at their stats for last game. 11th, 11 for 24 from deep. I mean, if they shoot close to 40 to 45%, they're going to run away with this one. They're going to run away with this game. But, FAU is playing so loose. They're playing with house money. It doesn't seem like the stage is too big for them right now. You're on both overs tonight. So maybe the full game hits, but I am definitely leaning with the first half under here. Let's take a look at it. 68. It's the best number we're going to find. I mean, we can bring up the trend again about MSG unders. It's split 1-for-1 or 1-1 in the first two games. And then the first half under was also 1-1 in the two games. And I believe the trend is college games are hitting at 57% full game to the under, and then totals are hitting at almost 60% for the first half under. So interesting. I think that's got to be my lean. I think 68, under 68 is going to be my lean in this one. And it looks like chat thus far likes Kansas State. Still got a few more minutes on the poll. Want to hear what you guys have to say. I do like overs more with close spreads for the OT factor. Yeah, that's a good point. And we finally got an OT game in, right? Like, how funny was it that we had all the games leading up to the Sweet 16 and we had no OT, and then we got the first game of the Sweet 16. Of course, Michigan State, Kansas State. I thought that was pretty funny. Ty says that FAU has a great 3-point defense. Yeah. They're going to need to, because if Noel and, Johnson have their way, mainly Noel, they're going to run away with this game. But FAU, I think, is prepared. They're ready. They've shown that they can hang with good teams. So the spread is fair. It's just interesting that, look, it's under 2, right? Under 2. Pretty interesting stuff. But look, the Conference USA is getting their roses, so to speak. I mean, look, Charlotte won the CBI. North Texas making a run in the NIT. FAU here in the actual tournament. So pretty cool stuff to see out of Conference USA. Looks like the poll is done, and it looks like K-State is chat's best bet today. Oh, I see what you're saying, pick 6. Yeah, just a tighter game. It's always funny with those tight games because you don't want it too tight where they aren't fouling, but you want it close enough, but a big enough difference in points where they do have to foul, right? Betting a lot of totals, you start to see that where you're like, oh crap, it's a 1-point game. And then there could be a go-ahead bucket, and then the other team plays for one shot, or vice versa, or if it's within 3, they don't foul. It's really interesting to see that. But then as soon as you get to that 4-5 point range, where it's a 2-possession game, it totally changes how teams play. Actually, no, now the poll is done, and now K-State still on top. Okay. I'm gonna go with I'm going with the first half under. I'm gonna roll with the first half under 68. Yep, it's juiced to the under here. Hold on. I need to go to total. Oh crap, it's juiced. Question, it's like, do we take a wait, can we compare first half? Oh no, we don't. It's like, do I take a 68 under 68 at minus, where is it? 117? Or do I take a 67.5 minus 102? I guess minus 108 would be the actual number I have access to. You got the push potential, or do I just go for the dub? Also, what the hell is going on here? That was funny. You guys see this? 70, 71, 70, 71, 70, 71, 77. DraftKings, what are you doing? What are you doing? Maybe just make it 70.5. Wait, like, what are we doing? Guys, this has to be a joke. And this is all within like 4 minutes. Actually, 3 minutes. Sorry, I'm looking at the Miami, Florida, Texas game, but I thought that was pretty funny. Maybe something's wrong with their auto mover and it's glitching out. Anyways. Okay, let's yeah, DraftKings is they're trying to they're analyzing every move. Look at 70 again. Look at what's going on here. Oh, this is hilarious. Is it kids? Can someone actually confirm that this is happening? Maybe it's just a data feed issue. But if so, it's absolutely hilarious. It's that's great. You're just trying to time it, right? You're just trying to get the best number and it keeps moving. Yeah, can someone please go check to see if that's actually happening? Oh man. Okay. We got to focus up here. I get entertained too easily, as you can tell. All right. Let's go back to the main screen and let's talk about game number 2. So I need to fire up the poll for this one. And man, if you go on Twitter, UConn already won. UConn won by 10 already. What I'm seeing on Twitter, why even play the game? You know, Gonzaga, emotional game against UCLA. That was their Super Bowl game. That's what I'm hearing. And I don't know. Seems like no one is really on Gonzaga. I mean, Gonzaga played a good ass game, and UCLA is a good ass team. So, you know, let's not forget about that. Okay, total. I'm gonna putting this in the poll for you guys to vote on. Under 153.5. Okay, poll is up. Make sure to get your vote in. I'm just reading this comment from the Deep Dark Chocolate. Okay. Yeah, everyone's counting Timmy out, man. What if Gonzaga runs a little bit of a zone? I'm not saying they're going to be in a zone the whole game, but I wouldn't be shocked if you see a little zone action. Only issue with that is he may dominate the boards. Sonogo. They may just have to play good straight up defense. Timmy, excuse me, Timmy cannot get in foul trouble. They do have was it Ben Gregg off the bench, but yeah, if Timmy picks up like 2, it's gonna be a tough one. Okay. Sherm, what is the number at? Tell me the number. I'm gonna guess what, 19.5? Was it even higher than that? Yeah, that was my Ben Brain line, 19.5. So like 20.5. That's a good line. I think you should go over. I think over is fine because Timmy's going to get to the foul line quite a bit. He's not the best free throw shooter, but I think he hits at least 6 free throws in this game. And that's going to help. He'll probably go like 6 for 10 or maybe, I don't know, 7 of 10, 7 of 11. It's a good number, though. It's definitely a good number. Jack, what's up, man? Jack, what do you like today? What do you like today, Jack? Putting you on the spot here. Let's see. Chat. Ooh, it's kind of tied right now. Neck and neck with Gonzaga and UConn. I like to see the Gonzaga love, though. That's good. Because, I mean, what they did last game, I know it was, it was tied down the stretch, but got to give them props. UCLA, I'm telling you, is, I don't want to say they're better than UConn, but I'm telling you, like, you're going to get a good game out of UCLA almost every time you play them. If you look at the course of their season, they had maybe 1 to 2 stinkers, but the question is, like, how much do you value what happened in the regular season versus what's happening as of late, right? Because if you look at Connecticut, and I think I talked about this Thursday, Connecticut had a few games where, man, I mean, things were not looking good. I mean, they lost 5 of 6. People kind of forget that. But the question, though, is like, is that just distant memory? Do we even value that and use any of that into today's handicap? And I typically would say, like, no, you wouldn't. But it's something to think about. Yeah, UCLA has been a lot more consistent. So, yeah, undefeated non-conference. I mean, who did they play? They played a bunch of cupcakes. They played Oregon, Alabama, Iowa State. Okay. I mean, that's pretty tough. Pretty tough string of games there. And then, of course, in the tournament, Connecticut's been shooting the 3 ball really well, too. Connecticut, last 3 games, has, I think, shot, what's 11 divided by 25? 44% last game. And then almost 50%, 47% game before. So they're shooting the 3 ball well. And I think that's helping them because the inside out game with Sonogo, it definitely opens up shots, and they've been moving the ball around pretty well too. I think, was it Andre Jackson Jr. had, I think, 8 assists last game. Let's see here. Assists. 7 assists. He's had 7 in the last 3 games. So yeah, they're moving the ball around. They're playing good offense. Let's talk about this total, though. We're seeing a little bit of a move here. And also, what was the result of the poll? Let's go here. View results. It looks like, see, it's thinking. It looks like UConn pulled away with a majority of the votes. What about this total, though? 140 or 154, moved up a little bit, came back down. Looks like it's settling at 154. It's a lot of points. Definitely a lot of points. I think I'm leaning under. I mean, that's a lean. What do you guys think? I mean, there are a few votes, but let's see what's going on with the first half here. 71, 72. Question, does anyone actually bet second half lines pregame? It looks like only if like one book offers them. It's kind of interesting. I don't think they fluctuate too much at halftime versus what they were before pregame. But if they do, it's only like a point or two. But I wonder if there are bettors who try to bet these pregame before the games even begin. But yeah, that first half total, 72.5. Not sure about that, but I think full game under would probably be my move if I had to bet something in this game. I lean Gonzaga, by the way. I lean Gonzaga at 2.5, but I do factor in ever so slightly. Yeah, maybe it was a little bit of a last game against UCLA where they had to give it their all, and they are a little bit of, let me put it this way, they're emotionally distressed. I mean, Timmy even had a quote. He said, we have to go from that game, and then now we have UConn, right? That's tough. I mean, UConn, after seeing UCLA, like that's not an easy draw. Yeah, betting second half lines pregame seems wild. I do agree, but kind of interesting. But do you base the total off of who's up or down when it's a spread this close? Because if like, let's say you have a team that is favored by like 15, right? If that team is down at half, the total is probably going to go up, or it's going to fly over the second half. But if it's the other way around, then you have to worry about, is that team just going to park the bus? You know, is the team that is down, are they equipped to score? Can they speed it up? So there's a few different things we'd have to look at. I feel like with this game, though, no matter who's up, I don't know if the spread really changes that much or the total at half, but we'll see. Jack says, if Gonzaga ends up winning the whole thing, no one can discount. Yeah, the path, it is very difficult. 100%. Best sports, my leans so far, I mean, there are two games. Florida, no. I'm going to go the under, first half under in the first game. So first half under. I mean, I guess I'm going 67.5 because the 68 is juiced. And then I'm probably going to go full game under for Gonzaga, Connecticut. My leans for the side, I guess I'm going to be square, and I'm going to go Kansas State. We need a little square emoji. We can just spam in chat. You guys can be like, oh, he's a square. And then Gonzaga. I'm going to lean Gonzaga. Look at, I'm like Cam is money. That's exactly what I'm leaning to. Not betting those, but those are my leans. Those two are my leans. I'm on the fence. Scrunch says with the total in the second game. Yeah. I mean, I may try to get it live. I mean, these totals and these sides, they're tight, right? If someone is coming on Twitter and or maybe on Twitch and they're telling you that they're really confident and they feel like they have like 5 units on it, something crazy, like that's like a sign that you probably shouldn't tail someone like that. I mean, no disrespect, but like, guys like me, we're in the business of trying to find edges, right? And that's how you should be too. You should try to find stuff where you think the books slipped up. And at this point in the season, like, there's not a lot of that. I don't want to say that it's impossible to find an edge, but it's really rare. Like, it's really hard. The books have so much data information at this point in the season. And the biggest thing is there's so much volume bet into these games. It's price discovery, right? Like, sharps are on one side, sharps are on the other. And then the line is basically just kind of pinballing until it kind of settles. And that's like the point of resistance where it's like, that is where the line should be. Yeah, early tournament, you can definitely find some edges. There's some matchup things that people take advantage of, altitude angles, things like that. Yeah, I'll never forget when the Cowboys were -7 and it flipped on stream. Did you get limited or kicked off that book? That's my question. Also, if you guys are in our Discord, can someone drop the Discord link here? Mods. If you were in the Discord 2 nights ago, they had Charlotte and who are they playing? Charlotte and who the hell does Charlotte play? Why am I spacing? Who'd Charlotte play in the CBI? Seems like so long ago. Was it Radford? It might have been Radford. Anyways, they had the game score flipped on Bet365. So the whole time, there you go, sick money. Everyone join the Discord if you're not in there already. I went in there and I said, guys, they literally have the score flipped. So they had, and I hate to bring this game up too, because that one fucking hurt. But they had Radford up 14-5, when in reality, Charlotte was up 14-5. So the whole live lines were based off the score that was incorrect. And Charlotte, it was Eastern Kentucky. Charlotte was live -1.5 for about 5 minutes. And there were a few people in the Discord who grabbed that number. Look, you got to be careful doing that. I think I made that clear in the Discord. Like, you could get limited. You could get banned off a book. But, I mean, it's your call. It's your call. Yeah, I remember PointsBet had some issues too. Bet365 live lines have been really inconsistent and inaccurate. They've been all over the place. There was another book, I'm trying to remember. What was happening is if there were 9 minutes left in the first quarter or first half, it was essentially thinking that there were 19 minutes left. And it happened for like 5 games in a row. So you could see as soon as the live score time clock hit like 9:50 something, it was recording as if there were 19 minutes left in the first half. So then what you could do, you could just basically bet I guess you would be betting the under, the live under. That'd be right? If there was more time. Yeah, because they would essentially think they were saying that, oh, there's 39 minutes left in the game. There's like 40 points scored, right? So you had these live totals that were like 190 something. Yeah, Bovada has been I'm not going to say the book, but there's an offshore book back in the day that I got kicked off of because I did that. Most of them paid out, but the offshores don't have to pay out. The offshores can do whatever they want, really. I mean, technically the legal books don't have to do that either, but they have to be careful about it because there's some other limitations that they have if they don't pay out a mistake or whatever. Back when legalization first happened, there was an issue at FanDuel at one of the kiosks. I don't know if you guys remember that, but there was someone who got an airline and yeah. I was also talking to a bookmaker, and he's like the head bookmaker of this. I'm not going to say the name of the sports book, he said they had a really sharp guy, like one of their, I wouldn't say the most respected bettor, but a pretty influential bettor. And he was basically betting. I forget the name they call this term, but it's basically when the lines are flipped. It's not that complicated. Like if one team is -5, they're actually +5 with the error, and people would bet that. And the sharp bettor kept betting these errors over the course of like the football season. And the first time they were like, "Hey, like, you know, just don't do that again," right? Like that, it was our mistake, whatever, we'll pay you. The second time he did it again, and they're like, "Hey, like, please, it's a mistake, like, we're gonna pay you out again, like, but we kind of told you, right?" And then he did it again, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Like, I mean, the book at that position, if you're on that side of the counter, like, of course, it's easy to say, like, be better, make better lines, don't have mistakes, but mistakes happen. Uh, it's interesting. You talk to a lot of people, and some will say, like, I won't do that, but some do. So yeah, and Dolbets, I remember that they sued. I feel like it had to do with like European soccer or something. Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe it was baseball. There was something with spring training. I mean, there's been so many things. There's gonna be so many documentaries that come out. Like, there's gonna be some crazy shit. Okay. NCAA POD UConn. Okay, guys. We can talk a little. Okay, let's do this. Do you guys want to talk a little baseball, or is that just, is everyone like, boo? Talk a little baseball. Get everyone fired up for baseball season. See, here's the thing I like. The beginning of every season, it's like the popular thing to do, right? It's like the new kid at school, right? Who's, oh, he's a new kid, like, woo! Everyone's all pumped up. But that's how baseball is. That's how most sports are. Start of the season. Guys, who remembers last year, before I was a married man, I had a little bit of a run. I'm going to toot my horn for a second. I don't toot my horn enough, but I'm going to toot it right now. I'll tell you about my baseball season. So April was tough. I think I was down 5 units, maybe even 8. It is what it is. A little bit of variance. May comes around, and I think end of April I started to get hot. May comes around, and granted, I'm getting married end of May, right? But I told Nick, I'm like, dude, we got to do something for May. We got to do some content. It's baseball. You got to do some interesting content to get people engaged or whatever. So I did the 30-30-30 challenge, and basically and look, I hope you guys do this too. Like, so someone actually did this in NBA back in February, and I think he got some good followers from it, and he was winning bets. Basically, what you do is you have all 30 teams, and you can pick a team only one time, once a day throughout that 30-day period. And you can either pick a prop, a side, a total, anything really. Player prop, first 5. And yeah, I mean, let's pull it up. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous with it, because with these, they can, they can go really well, or they can go really bad. Just because if you start off like 1 and 5, right? Part of you is like, do I even continue this? And also, there's just a lot of variance. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if you look at it, I definitely got pretty lucky. Like, there were some games where, let's see here. Like, there were a few games where I got super, super lucky. Hold on, can I format freeze? one row. Okay. Wait, what? I froze the wrong row. Oh man, I have to format. As you can tell, I'm just an Excel wizard. Does anyone work in Excel like 24/7? Those people are crazy. You guys just have formulas coming out your ass. Okay, anyways. Yeah. I mean, I got pretty lucky on a few games like Quantrell, this last one. He definitely was like pitching way late into the game, and that was just so totally unexpected. And then he gave up a hit like literally like the last pitch, and then he was taken out. Like I definitely was on a few of those where they went my way, but also, you know, I went up 13 units, so it's like adjusted with some of those luck games, luck bets in my favor. It's like okay, whatever. But I'm not complaining. Like you take those, but no, it was fun. Probably gonna run it back. Thing with baseball is, and look, this is just my opinion, but I feel very strongly about it. The first 3 months of the season, I feel like you can really take advantage of the lines and they're softer. And I especially think this year with the rule changes, the books are going to have a really difficult time at first accurately pricing some of these props, totals, even sides to some regard, because what's going to happen is we're, you know, whether it's the beginning of the season and we see all these overs, the market might over adjust, or the market is already going to adjust for what they expect to happen. And you see these totals maybe like a run higher than they should be. And, you know, maybe they're overinflated just to start the season. Like it's hard to say. And it's going to be really hard, even for me and for anyone, to just speculate and say, like, this is wrong, this is right. But it should make it fun because we know the books are going to be scrambling. And I think it just opens up opportunities. And the biggest rule change, I think that's going to really affect things. It's not even the shift, because the shift is going to increase scoring. Is it going to add like a run a game? No, it's not. But what I do think is going to affect scoring the most and lead to higher totals, the pitch clock, because what's going to happen is when the pitch clock's down to like 5 seconds, right? And you have these pitchers who usually have a routine they've been using for 10 years. They've been using a routine basically since high school, right? The pickoff. They have a routine. These pitchers now have to change everything they've done with their routine. And pitchers are really anal about like their routines. Like they've done studies where if there's rain delays, even by like 30 minutes, the game starts 30 minutes later, they've found trends where like ERAs go up because pitchers are just such creatures of habit. Like, have you guys read about Kershaw? Even Max Scherzer, like they're insane. Like they're literally like an hour 5 before the game. Here's what I'm doing. Like there was this pitcher who would like eat a banana like at this point in time before his start. Like, and if he was off or he like didn't have a banana or some shit, he would have a bad game. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, these pitchers are so insane with their routines. So what's going to happen back to the pitch clock is 5, 4, 3 seconds. It's ticking down. If there's a runner on first, right? The pitcher can throw to first. But and also Subbane. Shout out Subbane. Who is it? It is, let's see. Tom Wright, 7 months. Let's go. I was like, I'm not continuing until I show Subbane love. Shout out Tom Wright. Guys, remind me, can they throw to first 2 times straight? Like, what happens after that? Because then what's going to happen is the runner on first can get an insane jump, regardless how many times the pitcher can throw. Because what's going to happen is when it's at like 2 seconds, 1 second, the pitcher is just going to be focused on getting the ball home. So you're going to see increased steals. First of all, the steal attempts are going to go up and probably going to lead to increased steals. So I don't know. Again, I don't know how much the books are going to adjust for that, but that's where I think we see the most increase in runs. Also, the bags, I believe, are a little closer to each other. It's inches, but with review, I mean, even like a few inches makes all the difference. So Dolbets, if they throw to first, runner's safe, of course. They cannot throw to they can't throw to first again. That's insane. I mean, at that point, why wouldn't the runner just take an extra step off the bag? Are you sure it's 2? Because if so, that's crazy. And then they're really going to have to use their pickoff attempts twice in appearance. Okay. But still, I mean, you get 2. Dude, that is crazy. No, David, I think no, Dolbets, you're right, but that's crazy to me. Man. That's crazy. That's really going to change things up. Because now the pitchers are going to think about that and they're going to try to save them. Because think about it, you get those 13 pitch at bats, and you already used those 2 pickoff attempts in the first 7 at bats, or first 7 pitches. Damn, it's a ball if they don't tag runner. Yeah, the bags are bigger. I think the bags are bigger by 6 inches. Let's look it up. Baseball, MLB. Bases. New bases are 18 square inches. So the old bags used to be. Also, Nick's going to be so jealous when he finds out we were talking about baseball. He's going to be like, Ben, you didn't tell me about this. I'll be like, oops. I'll be like, chat told me. Chat said they wanted to talk about it. Also, Ghost Runner is back, of course. I wanted to see this image of the bases. So in theory, there's people who could do geometry on this. Probably be a little bit trigonometry. What is the increase in actual inches from each bag? Sup, Lenny? Well, Lenny, as soon as we start talking about bags and inches, you pop in. Questionable. But anyways, yeah, I mean, this stuff's going to make a difference. And the books will adjust and they will figure it out, but it's hard to say. I don't remember a Twitter message. Maybe it went to my spam. Let's talk about the shift real quick because this is another change. Let's see, new shift rules. There was a good graphic I saw. It was basically saying you only can have what 2 players on each side of second in the outfield or in the infield, right? But you only can have hold on. I just want to make sure I'm getting the rule right because can they still put the second baseman or short like in the outfield position like they do with guys like Ohtani who have just like crazy pulls? It says 2 infielders must be positioned on either side of second when pitch is released. So, okay. All 4 infielders must have both feet within the infield when pitcher is on rubber. Okay. Heels can't touch grass. So the shortstop can't go, in like no man's land or whatever. You know what I wonder though? I wonder if teams are just going to shift their outfield. They can't do this though. This is out of the question. But what they can do here's what they still could do. So they have 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obviously, you can't do that. But what they can do is they could still have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then no, they wouldn't put. So if you guys look here, there's a outfielder. Would they ever consider moving him where like Correa is in that like deep second baseman position? Because you could still do that. David, they're doing that? Yeah. Because what's going to happen is you have guys like, Ohtani maybe isn't the best example because I feel like Ohtani would just start hitting it in the gap. But there's guys like, well, I'm thinking like Schwarber. Your guys like the guys who just are pulling the ball, and 80% of their hits are coming on their batting side. You just move Gonzalez or whoever that is. You move him where Correa's at. And then you'd still have your 2 and 2. So you still have 2, 2. You guys follow me? And I guess they've been doing this in spring training. Yeah, you just move him over. That's what they're going to do. And then Manfred's going to come out in like a month. He's going to say, you can't do that. 100% that's what they're going to do. Because this is the same thing like when people see this and they're like, oh my God, just bunt it down the third baseline. How many times do they actually ever do that? It's like never. I think Cargo did that back with the Rockies once, but you like never see it. And they actually did some numbers where when like Aaron Judge is at bat, if there's 1 out and a guy on first, they basically concluded that if he walks or gets a single and doesn't move the runner over to second, it's almost worse than if he tried to hit, right? Like, so from an analytics perspective, it's like he's better off trying to hit a home run than being walked, which is insane to me, right? Like you should think that moving a runner up to second and first with, and again, this is with that 1 out, but that just shows like how important a guy like Judge is and why maybe you don't see more guys try to bunt in like a situation like this. I've seen it so many times where I'm like, just fucking lay down a bunt, right? It's infuriating to me sometimes, but look, if the analytics are saying not to do that, I guess I get it. And that's why like when Judge has so many strikeouts, it's not as bad as meets the eye. Like going 1 for 4 with like 3 strikeouts and a double, that's a good game for him. And then people want to give him shit for striking out a lot, but I mean, technically that's a decent game. So anyways, yeah, going back to the shift guys, it's going to be really interesting to see what changes with this. Because with the other rule changes, I mean, you're really going to have to break down like how many additional runs are basically being added because of the shift versus the pitch clock and the bigger bases. So I wanted to show you something that's pretty interesting. Let me see if I can find it here on Baseball Savant. I need to find the players. Let's see here. No, that is team. So basically it shows how often teams were in a shift. Here it is, versus their opponent. So I thought this was really cool. And this is Baseball Savant, guys. I highly recommend Baseball Savant, especially for visual people like me. Let me get the plate appearances up to like 250. Okay, so what we're looking at here, guys, we are looking at how often teams shifted, fielders, opponents shifted against a batter. So a guy like Carlos Santana, he's at 98%. And that's on 362 plate appearances, or actually, 362. And he wasn't shifted. Only 7 plate appearances he wasn't shifted. And I kind of have a feeling that was like seventh or eighth inning when the game was just out of hand and they're like, fuck it, we're not shifting. But one thing that's kind of interesting, and I was talking to Nick about this, if we look at WOBA, right? Weighted on base average. You have to be careful looking at these numbers because some players have a better WOBA when they were shifted against. But I think one of the reasons why is just because of the variance and randomness of baseball, and you don't have the greatest sample size. I'm trying to find an example of this. Let's see here. There were a few where their WOBA was like super high when they were shifted, and then non-shifted, their WOBA like dropped down. But it's good to point out those examples because, okay, here's like Daniel Vogelback at the top here. So his WOBA was 0.368 with the shift, and then it went down to 0.27 without the shift. But I think this is just a product of randomness because baseball is a random sport. No, pick six, I agree. And this is why I'm bringing this up, because I think this stuff with the shift, well, are you saying more player props? Because I just don't know like what the books are going to do. Are the books just naturally going to inflate totals across the board just to start? I'm not sure. The other thing we have to consider is some teams shifted a lot more than others. So take a look at this. This is the shift percentages for teams on the season. I find this hilarious. The Rockies were last. That's probably why we suck, because we don't shift and believe in analytics. Rockies only shifted 18% of the time. They're dead bottom. Dodgers shifted 52% of the time. So if the books just blindly increase the totals, like across the board, just like, hey, we're going to increase every total that we release by, I don't know, a run. That's probably extreme, maybe 0.5 runs. That's silly, because if the Dodgers and Astros are playing each other and they shifted half the time, each time they were on defense, you can't give the same weight to the shift rules as if the Guardians and Rockies are playing each other dead bottom, because they only shifted 22 and 18% of the time. But what I'm curious about is if the books have like a scale and they're going to say like, well, this team shifted X amount and they're playing this team who shifted X amount. They could do that. They could be doing that behind the scenes. But I also think like the books, I have a feeling that they're not going to do a lot of that. And I just think that the market is going to dictate like what the total should be with price discovery. I mean, that's a lot of work for the books to do. And of course, they have the resources to do that. But at the same time, maybe they just let the sharp, influential money come in and they shape the line. You know, when the limits are still low enough where they're not going to get hit by like a 100K bet, maybe they wait to see how the bettors react to it and then see how the market shapes everything. It's going to be really interesting. And again, this is something that we're going to see for the first time in a while in baseball with these big rule changes. I think the first time we really saw something like this is with the extra inning rule with the runner on second. And I think like 8% of games went into OT or extra innings. But if you bet that enough, like when the lines didn't adjust, like there was an edge there when you were betting overs, because the games would go into extra innings and there were more runs scored, especially games with a lower total with less variance, right? Yeah, the ghost runner. So like when that happened, if you had a game with a total of 7, right, the likelihood of that going into OT was higher than a total of like 12. Just less variance, less runs, and there was a higher likelihood of it going into OT. Extra innings. I'm still talking baseball terms, but just something to consider. You know, now that we think about how that changed things, and what makes it crazy is there's the pitch clock, there's the shift in the bigger bags, and are the lines out for next week already or no? Because I just don't want to sit here and say like, oh, you know, I think the books are going to inflate lines and then they don't, or vice versa. No, I'm not showing anything for Thursday. Next Thursday. I think they usually release them like Monday, if I'm recalling correctly. So opening day is Thursday. So it's going to be really interesting to see like what they do there. But we could see some pretty wild moves. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we see a total open up at 8 and it like moves to 10. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a total move from 10 to 8. I mean, the other thing to consider is, let's pull up pitching, and let's pull up I guess we can do percentile ranks, because as we know, the shift isn't going to affect every pitcher the same. you have pitchers like DeGrom who don't allow a lot of contact versus guys, I don't know, I'm thinking of one off the top of my head. Zach Greinke, he's allowing a lot of contact. The shift is going to affect Greinke more than it is DeGrom, because DeGrom naturally is not going to have as many balls in play. I'm trying to get to let me see here. We want to go to pitching. Savant. Let's see here. Pitchers update. Okay. Here we go. This is giving us we got relieving pitchers in here too, but there's DeGrom. So if you look at number 7, so like the thing with DeGrom is if you look at his whiff and chase rate, like they're through the roof, and he's just not allowing a lot of contact. Trying to sort it the other way. I guess we can go down. It's not letting me go any further. But anyways, you get my point, guys. You get my point. So there's a lot of factors. And yeah, it's obviously not as easy as like, oh, there's a shift. Like, let's blindly, add the run inflated to the total. And I think that's where, we can come in and chat. You can see like, hey, it's pitcher A versus pitcher B. And like, I think they aren't expecting, or I guess they're expecting the shift to come into play more so than it should, because there's just not going to be a lot of balls in play. And then vice versa, right? You could find spots where you're like, I'm pretty sure Zach Greinke is one of those guys who just allows a lot of hits, a lot of contact. Also, did you guys see Zach Greinke in spring training, like basically had a start out there where he was like experimenting with like some of these rules, and he was like intentionally giving up home runs? I think it was his last start. Really weird. Zach Greinke's like an interesting guy. Yeah, when both teams had aces, it was like 6.5. So if you had like DeGrom versus Scherzer, well, they're on the same team. Well, they were. Like I'm trying to think of a matchup, but yeah, something like that. It's going to be around 6.5, 7. I mean, look at this. Greinke was in the bottom first percentile in Ks. Yeah, DeGrom versus Alcantara definitely was like 7. I mean, sometimes it gets to 7, 6.5. You'll see it bounce around a little bit, but yeah, I think that's fair. You can start to say like, okay, that's a good baseline of like, okay, I remember what these were last year. What are they opening at, right? Like if we see DeGrom and Alcantara, if that opens up at an 8, I would be like under, right? Or at least I'd be hesitant to say like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't bet this. And maybe that the books are actually expecting these new rules to add another run and a half. I mean, Greinke is one of the most interesting pitching profiles you'll see. Look at his game logs last year. I mean, he only had a few games where he went over, I think, 5 Ks. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games where he hit 5Ks, and the rest of his starts were under. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games where he only had a K or less, or actually 6 or less. Where's Kansas City on here? I guess the Royals didn't shift a lot, but they shifted, especially against lefties. But yeah, I mean, a guy like Greinke, it's going to be really interesting to see how he performs with no shift. You can anyone in chat can give me another pitcher too, if you're curious. I mean, it really can be anyone. One second, I'm just going to update. Fun talking baseball. Baseball is definitely a love-hate sport for a lot of people. One sec, guys. Yeah, Chichi. Well, I don't know if Chichi had enough to qualify last year. Let's see here. What team is he? He's on the Rangers now. Chichi went to Oral Roberts. That's kind of funny. Yeah, Chichi. This is all that they had for him last year. Look at Ohtani, man. Ohtani, dude, fucking crazy. I mean, Ohtani's so good that he has. I mean, I can't even tell. Is this his batting or pitching profile? This would be his pitching profile. I mean, he's literally so good. He has to have 2 of these. Yeah, this is pitching. Oh, no, this is hitting. So this is his hitting profile. And then if we go to pitching, that's pitching. Insane. I mean, absolutely insane. I hope people realize what we're treated with here with Ohtani. Who the heck is this? I don't know who that is. Is that a pitcher? Are you thinking of you just spelled it wrong for the guards. Let's pull him up. He didn't have enough to fully end up on the chart, but it looks like he has decent fastball. What's extension? I need to learn what extension is. Extension quantifies exactly how much closer a pitcher's release point is to home plate. Interesting. I think the idea would be if you have a better extension that correlates to being tougher to hit would be my guess. Shohei has an 88. That seems good. That would be my guess, right? Like you have less reaction time to see what pitch is coming at you. That would be my guess. Also, guys, for live betting, I used this a little bit last year, Baseball Savant. I'm trying to figure out like how practical it is and like is it actually something you can use live game? But I would be curious, like if we had live streams where we, we're not doing them every day, but we're basically, looking at one game and just trying to live bet it. I think Rockies games would be really fun because there's just a lot of runs being scored. You can look at, I just have to find it here. You can look at live pitch stats. So anything from rotation to miles per hour. I'm just trying to figure out how to get there. Maybe it's summary. But I used it a little bit last year. I'm just trying to figure out like the best way to present stuff. Let's see if I can find it. It's really cool. Maybe they don't have it for spring training, but essentially it shows like, each pitch. Man, where is that? It's really cool. I'll find it somewhere. I know they have it. Maybe I can go back and look at an old game too. Oh shit, I'm not even a Baseball Savant. How the fuck did I get? I got off. Here we go. They tricked me. Let's see if it. Okay, I found it. Pick 6. I think we're gonna try to stream every day. We'll see. That's the plan. Next week we'll have 3 streams: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and just talking about like preseason features, things like that, win totals. Okay. So I really think that there could be something here as far as like finding an edge in baseball. It's just all about like quantifying it and figuring out like what information to look at. But you could see pitch velocity. You can see expected batting average, which could help with like potential regression. I guess that's exit velo. You can see live metrics for every batter, every pitcher batter matchup from the game. And where I think this is like super helpful is when you look at pitching velocity. I use an example with someone else about Herman Marquez last year. And in the first few games, his velocity was down like 2 miles per hour, which 2 to 3 miles per hour doesn't seem like a lot, but it is significant for a pitcher. And essentially, in those first few games, you could start to see like, oh, I don't think his fastball is there and maybe something's going on mechanically with him. This would help you discover and determine that pretty quickly because you could just see within a game, like, something's going on with this pitcher. Like he's not all there. If you just look at the live line and look at the score, that's not going to tell you a story. Like you definitely need to get more granular with it. Yeah, so the only thing that sucks is like I'm pretty sure a lot of this is delayed, and also non-basic gamer 12 months. I'm pretty sure 12 months equals a year. And it does. And that's impressive. 12-month sub bang. What color badge do you get? Non-basic gamer. Comment something. I want to see what the sub bang is. Also, Dad, why are you not subscribed? Oh, you are. You have the first. Okay. I was like, Dad? Pitchers who pitched in the WBC will be ahead of the schedule and pitch better. Yeah, but at the same time, they're using the old rules, so I can make the counter argument to that to say that, well, maybe. Oh, there it is. Boom. Oh, it's the red. That was like Nick's favorite. He's like, oh my god, the red. Or is it? It's like an orange red. Boom. Also, you have 69 messages all time. So if you comment one more time, that goes away. Just saying. It's up to you. I'm just pointing out. No, I don't know if again, I don't know. Maybe the pitchers will be better, but they haven't been pitching with the new rule changes, so maybe they're going to be caught off guard. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to see how behind this is. Twins, Yankees. I think the batters are going to be fine. No, Trey Turner has plenty of hits ready for the MLB. But I think the pitchers, though, I'm like, I don't know about the pitchers. Are the pitchers going to be ready? My dad's thinking about it now. He's like, It's like, good point, son. I know, Dad. But I could be wrong. Because last year, I feel like some of the pitchers were, I don't know. They struggled. They were a little sluggish. Oh, wait. I need to go to today's game. So I'm looking at the Twins and Braves. I just want to see. So let's see. 2-1. Yeah, see, this is definitely like 2 pitches behind. So my advice is, if you're using Baseball Savant, you should not look to bet anything until like inning change, or if it's like a half inning, because it is definitely like pops up to, yeah, it's definitely like a whole at bat behind. Yeah, Heisenberg, they definitely were hyping him up a little bit. The WBC, definitely. And look, I wouldn't be. Did Trout go down a little bit on his numbers? Did people overreact with him striking out? I read something where that was like only the, I don't know, 8th or 9th time that Trout has ever struck out 3 times with like a fastball, like 3 straight swing and misses, or it was some crazy stat. I mean, that's Ohtani for you. I'm just trying to figure out how behind this is. So right is facing Taylor. Yeah, it's definitely like 2 minutes behind, but that's okay. Like, the way you have to use this is you wait to live bet until an inning change. Homer's the second. Okay. And it could even be a little more behind, because I'm just going off of MLB. So that could be delayed, 5-10 seconds. But hopefully you guys are following me. I definitely think there's something here. We just have to figure out how to use it. They have win probability, pitch 3. Let's see what pitch 3 is. Yeah. I mean, this is a lot of noise. Like, I'm like not sure how you would. I guess you could see, like, if the pitcher is kind of missing his zone a little bit. So you definitely have to be. Let's see, pitch speed. Let's go to Kyle Wright. Oh, you can't do it by. Oh, I guess you can. Like, you would have to know, like, okay, if it's a fastball, it should be closer in the zone, and if it's a slider, maybe it's outside the zone. That's really case by case. Like you would have to come into the game. That's why I think with the Rockies games, like I could come in and I could say like, okay, here's what I expect out of these pitchers. Like I know what Kyle Freeland's going to try to do. Kyle Freeland's going to try to throw the ball right here in the bottom of the zone. He's going to try to paint the bottom of the strike zone with his fastball. He'll get you with the slider a little bit. And then once the game starts, I can say like, oh man, you know, Kyle's missing the zone here. Of course you can see that watching the game, but like I can go back now and I can say like, oh, look at, they even move the strike zone depending on who is at bat. That's pretty crazy. I guess it makes sense, right? Depending on how high how tall the player is. Spin. Yeah, Daniel Bard is going to get lit up a little bit, but the thing with Daniel Bard is he's not going to have that many save opportunities this year. Rockies are either going to be losing, and then some of those games at Coors, the ones that they're winning, they're going to be up by 4 or 5 runs. Like you'll get those crazy Coors games, and the score has to be within 3 runs to get a save attempt. Is there a way to see what pitchers has pitched with a pitch clocks before the season? Yeah, Hand will get some saves too. The Rockies are gonna be such an experiment, guys. I'm telling you, Grishik's out. He'll be out for a little bit. It sounds like CJ Cron is going to be out, not starting, just because of his back. Blackman is going to be not playing every game. Gilbreth is out for the season. Tommy John's, Brendan Rodgers out for the season. There's a few other injuries. Like I'm telling you, the Rockies, Dad, I think this is the first year the Rockies might lose 100 games. They flirted with it a few times, but they never had a 100-loss season. I think this could be the year. They also have a pretty tough non-divisional and non-league schedule. They play the Yankees, the Astros, the White Sox, the Jays, the Rays. They do get the Athletics, so at least they get to see the Athletics a few times. But overall, it's a pretty tough schedule. Like you have to play the Astros, Yankees, Rays, and the White Sox. Like I don't think that's a good draw at all. Yeah, I think the Padres this year may finally have a winning record at Coors. Interesting. Yeah, Baseball Savant has so much fucking data, man. The A's, I don't want to say the worst team of all time. There's been some bad teams. My dad could tell you in chat here, Synchronicity. I'm trying to think of like that. What year was that? The Diamondbacks had a really bad team like a few years back. The Rays one year had like a really bad team in there. Like let's take a look. Let's see worst records MLB. I mean, you're going to get some of these really bad teams back in the day. The Tigers back in 2003 were 43-19 or 119. I'm trying to look at some modern days. The Orioles back in 2018 won 47 games. Tigers had another 47 win season. Tigers have had some bad seasons, man. Here's the Diamondbacks. It's kind of small. Let me make it bigger. Diamondbacks. This was the season I was alluding to. 51 and 111. You know what's funny is the Astros back in 2013 only won 51 games. They've turned their team around. Or the Reds. I'm trying to see if the Reds are on here. Most losses. You know what's funny is like the Reds, they haven't had like a really, really bad season, it looks like. But they're not good. Detroit, man. I really hope Detroit can turn it around this year. They got to stay healthy, but I'm not going to be fooled again. We were high on Detroit last year. Scooble got hurt, but I mean, the team looked like shit. It was promising for the first month or two, and then it just, yeah. I think it got to the point where they knew that the season was done, and yeah. Yeah, so what we could do, I'm trying to think of like the best. Let's see here. If I like have something like this, and then I have unabated up, and then I have, let's see here. I'm trying to think of like the best setup. So we would have MLB, and then we have hold on, let's get back to the game. Are these spring training? Yeah, these are. Okay, so they have the spring training games in here. Where'd it go? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Yeah, something like this. Something like this. I'll figure it out, but does it have live already up? Maybe not. Yeah, but the cool thing with unabated is they will have live lines up too. So we will be able to kind of look at the live line. The only thing is like these two won't be in sync. They'll be off a little bit because unabated will be a little faster, a little quicker. But again, it's okay. If we utilize Baseball Savant, we're just going to have to understand and be aware it is behind a few minutes and just, place live bets during inning changes or the half inning. Because I really do think it's helpful information if used in the right way. It's a lot of noise, but I do think it is beneficial. Detroit to make the playoffs in next season in baseball, football, basketball, and hockey. Parlay puts you, puts your grandkids through college. Well, let's see here. We got the Tigers, and then the Red Wings. The next season. The Pistons, and then the Lions. I don't know what the Pistons are doing. I think they're just trying to get some more talent. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I would actually be curious to see what the odds are on that. Ooh, they call that a strike? Oh, in play outs. Gotcha. But still, I mean, I'm telling you guys, this is really fascinating data. I mean, we're getting the pitch, we're getting launch angle, exit velocity, speed, inning, of course, all that good stuff. We even have like vertical break. I really do think we can use this for live betting. Cool stuff. All right. Anything else, guys? If not, we can call it. Also, we need to put a Need to put something on the graph or on the screen, a graphic of sub goals. Keep you guys aware of that. Appreciate everyone who subs. Sorry for the yawn. You know it's bad when Lions in Detroit. Best hope is when the Lions probably to make the playoffs next year. I bet it's going to be 50-50 would be my guess. Maybe even a little higher. Maybe juice to yes. Now that Aaron Rodgers is most likely not going to be with the Packers. Oh, I'll tap into the MMA channel. I'll tap in. Yeah. What time does that fight start? Or fights? I saw my guy Matty Betts was betting some of those today. I bet Justin Gaethje, my guy from Northern Colorado that I personally know, shout out Gaethje, and bet him last week. So that was fun. $4:30 Eastern. Okay. Oh, what's up, Phil's Utley? Utley, we just had a really good conversation about the shift and everything, and the pitch clock and all the new rule changes. I think the pitch clock is going to be the biggest factor. The problem with Chris Bryant's home runs is like just how much he's going to play. If he has like a healthy season, I mean, I don't know what are we going to say is like 80. I'm not sure. What is does he have a line? I know he's not on Prize Picks. Yeah, steals are definitely going to be up. And yeah, next week, guys, we're gonna be going through a lot of these categories, but let's go to season. No, we want to go to player features, home runs. Yeah, they don't have Chris Bryant up. I mean, the problem is just like, again, how many games does he even play, right? 22.5. Ooh, that's actually really interesting. So the one thing I would want to look at, you go to Chris Bryant and you look at his games. Wait, I want to go to season. So he's played, obviously last year is like the outlier. Where is games? Okay, so I think it's fair to say he's going to play 100 games. Or that would be like my guesstimate. 100 games. He's going to be playing in Coors. I'm doing a little math here. So 100, he has 172 home runs. All time in his career. He's played 926 games. .2. So he's essentially every game he's good for 0.2 home runs, which if we break that down is good for 20. So you said Bet Online has 20? 22.5? I guess when you factor in Coors. I mean, it's so hard because it just comes down to how many games he plays. I know that's just for anyone, but he's been for power though. That's a good point. Okay, Jack, I'm gonna be in there. But Dad, do they? I mean, do the Rockies really have batters around him? I mean, Crone, but Crone might be out. Grishik might be out. McMahon, Tover is actually going to be a guy who could potentially win Rookie of the Year. Profar, I mean, I guess he would be starting over Profar. No, that's right. Chris Bryant's going to be right field. And then you have Charlie Blackmon, but yeah, I think Crone is going to be traded most likely. I also think that's why one of the reasons why Crone was taken off of Prize Picks on top of his injury, because like his RBIs were definitely set as him playing in Coors throughout the course of the season. But I mean, I just don't think that the lineup has enough where teams have to pitch to Chris Bryant. I mean, if he's actually going to be playing and he's hitting for power and whatever, I think people pitch around him a little bit. I'm trying to see if there's a projected 1 through 9. And I mean, the Rockies are going to fucking tinker with their starting lineup throughout the course of the season. I would guess it's going to be man. I mean, McMahon might be hit 2 hole. They might put Tovar lead off. Or Daza. I mean, to be honest, I have no fucking clue what the Rockies are going to do with their lineup, because if Crone's out, I mean, Crone being in, it would be probably like either Chris Bryant 3 and then Crone 4, or maybe Bryant 4, Crone 5. And then Ryan McMahon's probably going to be in the 3 hole. But with Crone out, I don't really know what they're going to do, because you also have, I mean, Diaz is going to have to be 8. You're going to have, and again, Rockies were another team that played around with the DH and moving him around in weird spots. So Blackmon might actually be leadoff. That's where he played most of his career. Okay, has Profar let off before? If so, that makes sense. Yeah, Profar, Bryant, Blackmon, Crone. But they could flip-flop Blackmon and Bryant. So yeah, Profar, yeah, you're right. Profar is going to lead off. If Crone isn't healthy, which I don't think he will be to start off the season, it's probably going to be Profar, Blackmon, Bryant, McMahon. But then the second half, I mean, you have a lot of improving guys. Topher, he's Tovar. I'm saying Topher. Tovar. I mean, he did play a little bit last year. Montero does have a little bit of power at third base. Yeah. We can look at the Phillies. Maybe let's look at a team that may actually win some games. Phil's Utley. You guys are probably like, why have we talked about the Rockies for the last 10 minutes? Well, welcome to misery. I got Kimbrel. any of these pitchers that we need to know about? I know, of course, Wheeler, Walker, Vasquez, Suarez. I remember Plasmeyer last year. Adam Nola, of course, Kimball, Brogdon. I think he played a little bit. I know Jose Alvarado. What's good with Luis Ortiz? He's a reliever. Did he not pitch a lot last year? Or did he? No, he didn't. That's what I thought. I was like, I don't really know this name. Let's fucking go, Mets. I feel like Phil Utley's not in here anymore. I feel like he'd be splooging right now that I'm talking about the Phillies. We can go to the Mets here in a second. Oh, there he is. How do you feel about your relieving pitchers? Because I think the rotation is going to be decent. I think Nola's solid. Walker's been interesting. When he was with the Mets, he was, I don't know. I feel like teams kind of caught up to him, but I mean, he went 12-5 last year, 3.4 ERA. Like, that's nothing to shake your head at. Yeah, and then you're right with the injuries because we look at their infielders. I mean, Bohm, Trey Turner. What are some of the injuries? So I'm not missing any. Hoskins, though. Yeah. That fucking sucks. So who's gonna replace Hoskins? This Derek Hall guy? Yeah. Okay. But look, I mean, this is the type of team that I actually think you can find value on earlier in the season because I think people will look at the injuries and, you know, I've seen this so many times where, like, the difference between the Rockies and the Phillies with the injuries is, like, I feel like the Phillies have enough to overcome some of that. Like, of course, they're going to need those guys back, or at least they're going to need Harper back to make a playoff run, but they have enough talent top to bottom where I think they can hang and be in a good position come All-Star break or whatever. Josh Harrison, he's getting up there, man. He's 35. You can't hit lefties. Yeah, you guys can take Crone. I mean, I don't even know what Crone's still doing on our team. I don't even know why. Like, the Rockies are just so stupid. Like, why do we keep these guys? We know that they're going to walk, so it's like, why don't we just try to get something for them? We should have already done that, in my opinion. Let's look at the Mets. The Mets. I think I'm going to the Mets game May 7th, I think. Can I just not look? There you go. Yep, we're basically a farm system, and yep, take your player. Oh wait, I want to go to depth chart. This is actually what I should have looked at. Okay, so we got Scherzer, of course, Verlander, Carrasco. What's good with this? Is it a Kodai Senga? I don't know too much about him. Let's take a look at him on Savant. All right, Jack. I mean, Jack, you were in Vegas, though. We didn't meet up, man. So, I mean, That wasn't really planned though, and it's Vegas. Okay, so what's this guy? No, that's Shohei. We don't want Shohei. Is he a KBO guy who came over? Yeah, this guy has like nothing. Is he a? He's got to be a international guy, huh? He's avoiding his forkball to stay healthy. Yeah, well, I guess he's in a Japanese league. Not a lot of stuff on him, man. We already know he's got some nasty shit. I mean, if I'm seeing like forkball and whatever already, like, he's got some crazy shit. I mean, look, they gave him a fucking $75 million contract, so he must be doing something right. Cohen and everyone was over there watching him. Let's see here. He's got a splitter, the ghost fork right, but it sounds like he's not going to be throwing that fork ball anymore. 4 scoreless on 46. So he's got some nasty shit. If he's getting a lot of strikeouts and just 40 pitches, he must have some nasty shit. I mean, and they paid him fat too. But look, like, this is the type of stuff that, like, as a Rockies fan, like, we would never land a guy like this because we're the fucking Rockies. So anyways, going back to their depth chart, I mean, he's your third pitcher. David Peterson, like, even in the 5-hole, yeah, he's an average pitcher, but like, that's a guy who's going to have a handful of starts this year, naturally, right? Carrasco, I feel like he's been declining a little bit. Let's see here, year over year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I feel about Carrasco. I feel like he's been declining a little bit. I mean, this is his 13th season. ERA. I mean, he's coming off. He definitely was at the peak back with the old Indians, 2014 to 2016. I mean, his ERA was under 3. And I remember that 2014 season, but yeah. I mean, he's going to be solid. So, the pitching, the rotation's not bad. Like, they're going to be a top 3, top 5 pitching rotation. You have Scherzer and Verlander, right? And even if Senga is like half of what he's expected to be, they should be in a good position. And then you have Ottavino. I'm not too familiar with some of these relieving pitchers. Well, Drew Smith, but I don't know about some of these other guys. But yeah, solid lineup. I mean, when you look at Alonso, McNeil, Escobar, Lindor, Tommy Pham, Marcane, Marte, Brandon Nimmo. What's going on with Nimmo? He's injured. Brandon Nimmo's from Cheyenne, Wyoming, right up the way. What's going on with Nimmo? Anyone know if Nimmo is going to be playing to start the season? And then Volbach, man. I feel like Volbach's just going to try to be hitting home runs every time he's at the plate, but that's fine. I want to look at the Red Sox. Let's see what's going on with them. I think Trevor Story's out, right? Wait, did Trevor Story did he get moved? Did I miss that? Or is he just out? He's just out for the year? says yeah, it sounds like he's gonna probably miss the whole season. I knew it was surgery. I think it's on his elbow. I think the Red Sox are a team that could fly over their win total or go way under their win total. Pitching, I mean, Chris Sale, Kluber, but I don't know. Like talking about pitching and going from the Mets to this, Chris Sale just seems like he should be your second best pitcher. Yeah, he had surgery on his elbow. Pavetta, Kluber. Let me see something here. It just seems like we're not oh wait, doesn't seem like there's enough in their starting rotation. I'm trying to go year over year. I mean, this is Kluber's. This is pretty crazy. This is 15 and 5 years. Cleveland 2019, Texas 2020, Yankees 2021, the Rays 2022, and now the Red Sox. You don't see that a lot. You definitely don't see that a lot. It did say that he's going to miss at least half of the season or more. So it really depends with Trevor Story, like if they need him to come back. But yeah, I just read this article that says Trevor Story will miss the start of the 2020 season, and he may miss all of the season after undergoing elbow surgery. So I honestly think it just comes down to where the Red Sox are in the chase, and if they're out 10 games or whatever, I don't think Story comes back. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. Like, I don't think I can be high in the Red Sox. Tristan Cassis, yeah, I mean, he's going to do some good things. Devers, he should hit well. I mean, Justin Turner in the DH spot, but I'm not going to lie, though. I don't know too much about the relieving pitchers. Schreiber. I think I remember him from last year, John Schreiber. I wanted to look at well, D Smalls. I mean, you can get a badge if you subscribe. You can do that free with Amazon Prime, by the way. And I know you probably have Amazon Prime, right? Hold on, I wanted to pull up another team here. Let's see here. MLB. Someone give me a team. First one to give me a team. I'm pulling them up. The Jays. Oh, you guys were. I'll do those after. Let's go to the Jays. The Jays. Kevin Gossman. That's my dude. Colorado guy. I think he's starting opening day, right? Or is Manoah starting? What did they announce? It's really close. I think either one of those guys could start. Has Gossman here, but he might be out. I don't know about futures yet, Heisberg. I still need to look. I still need to look like what I like for futures. I posted 2 in the Discord. DraftKings has a boost, $50 max, but I mean it boosted a few of those up pretty well. So yeah, Gossman, Manoah, Bassett, Berrios. I mean Berrios, man. Berrios and Kikuchi. One of those 2 guys needs to have a decent season. Kikuchi, I'm pretty sure he always gets lit up by the Yankees, right? They own him. Berrios will have like 2 good starts and then he'll just get fucking shelled. I mean, his ERA was over 5. Like, look at some of this. He would have those games where he had 7, 8, 9 Ks. He had a 13K game. Jays are 91.5. Seems like a good number. But then he has these games where he's given up a fair amount of walks, but a lot of earned. I mean, he gave up 8, gave up 6, gave up 5, gave up 8 again, 6. Like, pitchers can get away with 1 to 2 of those, but when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games with 5 earned or more, 8 starts, that's not good, and that's probably why he's moving down. Kikuchi, though, like, again, one of those 2 guys has to somewhat hold up, or Jays are going to drop a lot of games. Guerrero, Merrifield, Whit Merrifield. Got Matt Chapman, Bichette, Springer. I mean, lineup-wise, offensively, they're going to be pretty solid. My Final Four prediction. Gonzaga. Let's see here. Probably Gonzaga, Kansas State. Oh, man. Gonzaga, Kansas State, San Diego State, and Texas, probably. Even though I want Miami to win, I would have to go Texas. I can't do FAU. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I think the party is over tonight. But yeah, back to the Jays. I think they have a really good roster. I mean, definitely need to learn more about their relievers and their bullpen. And then, I mean, Berrios and Kikuchi, one of those guys is going to have to step up. They don't need to win 20 games. They just need to not lose 20 games. What else did someone say? The Royals. I feel like I'm not going to know a lot about the Royals. Why the fuck is Tom Brady right here? Oh, he's the owner of the Aces. It's probably a good investment. A Vegas team. I know they got good old Salvador Perez still. Oh, Brady Singer. Great. I mean, ugh. I hate their fucking starters, man. I can't stand Zach Greinke as a pitcher. I can't fucking stand him. Jordan Lyles somehow is still in the league. Amir Garrett throwing fucking 110 mile per hour fastballs. They have Chapman and Garrett. Holy crap. They got some speed coming off the mound there. Bobby Witt Jr., Dozier, Nate. I got to do some more research on some of these guys. It seems like a lot of these guys are farm system guys. Yeah, I need to do some more research on the Royals. But one team I know a little bit about just because they are in the same division as my Rockies, the Padres. I think the Padres are going to be damn good this year, unfortunately. How long is Tatis out, though? How long is Tatis out? He's out for half of the season? Or is it like 20 more games? Yu Darvish, Musgrove, Snell, Waka. Actually, Blake Snell he's starting opening day. Kind of interesting. Waka, Cronenworth has been coming along. Ha-Seong Kim has been pretty solid. I would love to see his WAR wins above replacement. He seems like he's pretty heady. Machado, of course. I mean, Bogarts and Soto. What's Bogarts and Soto, their status with health? But no, I mean, Padres are a pretty good team, and I mean, you have Josh Hader closing. I think he's going to be one of the best closers in baseball. Comes down to health, of course. I think Soto is going to have a really good year. I was thinking about Soto and playing some of his props, his over season long props. You also have Nelson Cruz, kind of sneaky, like still around in the DH hole, I guess, like behind Matt Carpenter. But man, both those guys. I mean, how old is Matt Carpenter? Hold that wrong. Matt Carpenter's 37. And Nelson Cruz has to be fucking like 40, right? 42. Holy shit. I mean, talk about some old heads in the DH spot. Sheesh. They're fine. Oh yeah, that's right. Soto's fine. I wish they would like put like a little injury thing where you can just click to say like, okay, they're actually fine, or they're gonna be out. I guess day to day, that's indicative of that. But yeah, Juan Soto, I think he has a big season this year. Unfortunately, I think he's gonna have a really good season. But yeah, fucking Matt Carpenter, 37, Nelson Cruz, 42. I find that hilarious. So how long is Tatis suspended for? Moving to left field. So he had an 80-game suspension. Oh, they get him. Oh, nice. So since they had a postseason run, they knocked off 12 games from a suspension. He'll miss the first 20 games. But is he also injured? Okay. Let's take a look at the Rangers. Yeah, they are going to feast. But Dad, I mean, the Rockies have won the season series in cores like the last 5 seasons. But I do think that this season changes. I think this is the year where the Padres unleash some of that pent up anger for losing in cores so many times. Okay, so of course we got DeGrom, Evaldi, Martin Perez. Martin Perez, he definitely had some good starts last year. I think he has like a weird pitching profile where he allows a lot of contact. I want to pull up his profile. I remember that was a guy that Nick was keying in on a little bit. Let's see here. His ERA was pretty good last year, 2.89. Doesn't have a crazy fastball, doesn't really have a crazy spin. He's allowing a decent amount of contact. A lot of balls in play, but it's working for him. So, like, this is a guy where I'm a little hesitant to try to back with the new shift rules. Let's see if that lines up with how Rangers played last year. Yeah, they shifted quite a bit. I mean, they're up there 11th most. Can I see? Oh, no, I can't search by pitcher, I don't think. Just wanted to see how many balls in play he allowed. According to the xERA, he definitely got a little lucky. His actual ERA was 2.8 and expected was 3.5. Same deal in 2021, 4.7 to 5.5. Yeah, look at his pitching profile. He throws basically 8% of the time, I guess he throws his fastball, but he's got a sinker. So that kind of makes sense why his hard hit percentage is pretty good because, the sinker is just moving so much. It's hard to get a hold and barrel it, which his barrel percentage is 92%. But no, this is definitely a guy I'm going to keep my eye on to start the season because if we do think the shift is going to have that much of an impact, it's going to impact guys like this. 81 is the Rangers. That's a pretty good number. I would actually lean over a little bit. I think they have enough bats with Garcia and Seager, Simeon, Lowell, Brad Miller, DH. Corey Seager is a pretty good player. I enjoy watching him out there. Man, Ian Kennedy's now a relief pitcher. I think he used to pitch for the Rockies and then maybe the Diamondbacks. Pretty sure he pitched for the Rockies. Oh, no, he didn't. I guess I'm just used to seeing him so often. He pitched for the Diamondbacks for 4 seasons and then the Padres. I thought he had a season with the Rockies. Oops. All right. I'm going to call it. I'm tired. I need some food in my system, but appreciate you guys joining. It was fun to chop it up, talk some baseball. I think the idea Well, tomorrow we're gonna have another Elite Eight stream. Talk about the games tomorrow, or the Friday games or Sunday games. What am I saying? Talking about the Sunday games, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Baseball, but I'm trying to think when the Final Four games are. Final Four. I guess Friday. Okay, maybe on Friday we'll have another college basketball stream. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't know the exact order, but we will be discussing futures, season win totals, awards, player prop futures, so like home runs, RBIs, things like that. And then one of the streams I will give my quote unquote goat whale, my prize pick season long. Definitely found some lines that I think are way off. Of course, injuries are going to be big with those because players have to play 80 games to qualify. So that makes it tough, right? Because you basically have like your little window. You need them to play over 80 to qualify. But also if you play unders, in a weird way, it's like you need them to play 80, but you hope that they don't play 160 or whatever that number would be for each individual player. So I have a little bit of both. I have some unders, I have some overs. I just need to narrow it down. And also Prize Picks has been like taking down lines based off of what people have been posting, some of the bigger accounts, which kind of sucks. There was one, let's see who it was. I thought it was I don't know, one of the closers someone posted and it dropped down. It might have been Phil Utley in here, but yeah, they've been moving those and just taking them down, which sucks. So hopefully, like when I post it, we can all get it in. I would be pissed if they just remove a few of them, but I'll have a few, I guess, on deck that I could also give out. But probably going to do that Monday or Tuesday, maybe. But either way, we're going to be streaming baseball all next week. And then I think Nick will be going live like Thursday, Friday morning, 11:30 Eastern. And then we will be kind of diving into some of the games for the day. So I appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Who's live right now? Can we raid? Let's see. Who do we got here? Appreciate you guys joining. There's a lot of people playing the show right now. Did that just come out or something? There's like 5 people playing. Oh, maybe it's because I changed my what do you call it? My category, my tag as MLB halfway through, and now I'm getting all the MLB. I was like, why do I see like 10 people playing MLB The Show? All right. We'll just call it. I appreciate you guys. We will see you next time. All later.